Welcome to Fashion Your Seatbelt, your first-class seat to one-on-one conversations with the fashion industry's top voices. I'm Jessica Michaud, and I created this podcast to share the joy I have in getting to know all the amazing people who bring this creative, inventive, and extraordinary business to life. You'll get to hear the cadence of their voices, the sound of their laughter, and feel firsthand how passionate they are about what they do. But before we get this show on the road, I want to say a quick thank you to GPS Radar for making this episode possible. GPS Radar is the members-only website where leading fashion brands and media connect. Also, I just want to remind you to leave a review. Stars are really trending right now, and it helps other very stylish listeners like yourself find the show. Now buckle up, and let's get started. This year marks the 20th anniversary of Angela Missoni's reign as the head of the family-owned Missoni fashion house. During those 2 decades, she has proven over and over again that there is always room for creativity, even within the confines of a house that has such an iconic DNA. In the case of Missoni, it's the brand's hallmark colorful knitwear in zigzaggy shades that have become the upbeat foundation for countless collections, each one a masterclass in color blending, knitwear innovation, and feel-good fashion. Speaking from first-hand experience, having attended pretty much every single show that Angela Missoni has done over the past 2 decades, I can attest to the fact that she has been incredibly agile and adept at adapting the signature style of the house to the ever-evolving fashion taste. But what I appreciate even more is how this matriarchal brand, founded by Angela's mother and father, Rosita and Ottavio, has flourished in her hands, and how her own children have also joined the family company, bringing with them the knowledge of a generation of digital natives that are helping bring the brand's message to a crop of new customers. Angela has also become something of an activist and has focused her energies on finding ways, including her own Missoni take on the pussy hat revolution, to empower women, something that in today's climate is resonating even more profoundly than ever. I spoke with Angela at the Missoni headquarters in Milan as she was in full swing preparing her commemorative 20th anniversary show. It was a time for reflection for the designer, where she took stock of everything she has accomplished so far, but also a moment for making plans and getting clear about what she wants to do next. So first question, were you surprised? Did it kind of come at you like a surprise? All of a sudden, it's been 20 years?
Yes. Actually, it's like maybe one and a half year ago. Mm-hmm. I started 2 years ago. I started realizing that I was getting closer to my 20th. During those years, I never went and looked back in the archives to find inspiration because I knew the archives by heart, my family, my parents' archives by heart. So I might have asked something precise in a certain moment because it was a mood and I remember something. So talking with my team, which is a very small team, and I said, oh my God, 20 years. And they started saying, okay, but so this means we need to get a research on your 20 years from Missoni. What's about? And oh my God, what annoying, right? Sometimes you think,
you're like, do I really want to look back?
No, yes, because those are things you know by heart and you've done them.
But did you have any surprises when you were looking back through your work?
Yes, because I let them go and look in my archive.
Okay.
And so I was like, to see the enthusiasm with which they had on looking at certain things, and it gave me a real inspiration to work on those themes or pieces so no, I'm happy that my work can still enhance enthusiasm in other.
So this collection then that we'll see in September, the one that is it going to be then like a greatest hits, or is it going to be reinterpreting the past, or was that just a walk down memory lane with your team?
I think it's as it's always been for me.
When you were younger, did you want to go and do something else? Did you want to be a fire engine? Did you ever want to be a cook? Or did you ever want to be a cook? Did you ever want to be a dentist? I don't know.
Honestly, when I was a kid, I never thought about working in fashion or working at the company. In fact, I was always present, always in terms that at any kind of event, or either because my mom would take me with her because I'm the younger, so not to leave me at home alone, or because events would be in Milan, or so I witnessed every single show. I have a memory in fashion history which is much older than my age. I've seen Palazzo Pitti. I've seen shows in Palazzo Pitti, right?
Okay.
I remember at least 3 generations of fashion reporters.
Did your kids do the same thing where they're coming in and started working to get some pocket money and now they're kind of also in the company as well? Is the idea to have it be always within the family?
Maybe I know that the girls are very passionate for fashion. I know Margherita had this charisma. She had her own sense of style.
Yes.
And Teresa has a lot of passion for
She
fashion
studied
too.
on fashion.
She studied fashion, but she was designing. Really, she was doing her T-shirt, or she was doing stuff since very young. She does her own clothes. She does her own dresses. So Margherita did work with me for a few years.
Yeah.
Now I think she has 2 kids, 2 years old and 3 years old. She's very busy. And she started their own children's line.
Yeah,
exactly.
which is great.
And I'm happy for her to have this experience.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that I always think about when I'm off working, that I'm showing my daughters that I'm, a working mother, that I think it's important that they see that I'm fulfilled as a person, as an individual. And I think that's an important example. How did you balance work life and the life of the family?
I think I'm very lucky, and I need really the big gift that I got from my parents, beside inherited an amazing business, a very interesting job, and this passion that I had inherited from my mom also for fashion. The other big gift was that they decided to build a factory, the Missoni compound, the atelier, the factory in a place they would have loved to live. So they were at the end of the 60s, when everybody were building factories in Milano. They decided to build a factory in the middle of the country, up on a hill with a view of the mountain, in a place someone else would have built a villa. And then they built a family house nearby. And the same happened for my children. And Margherita, remember, she's saying, yes, I am going to come back. I want my children to grow the way I grew, which means this is a good dimension. And I have to thank my parents for that, because they show us that you can have a life very grounded and natural, seeing season, and with your garden, and you can go back home, even if late, but you do. It might stop by see the grandma, stop by for lunch, or not only dinner, we do lunch together sometimes, right?
So family,
It was easy, and it's also easier maybe in the country. It was easy for me to have help. Being a mother, it's of course it's a natural thing. You are a mother, and you will be a mother all your life.
Can you talk to me a little bit about? Well, we've talked a little bit about already how wonderful it is to work in a family business. What are the greatest things about that, and maybe the most challenging aspects of that?
So it goes together. I don't know another reality, and in fact, but I'm sure that maybe in certain, even though we are a family, so my brother and I were the 2nd generation. And I always ask myself, how is it possible that 3 human beings born from the same parents, close in age, because we had 2-year difference one from the other, and how could it be possible that we are so different? Right? Then I had my children, and I understand. It is. That's what it is.
That's true. Absolutely. I was really touched and maybe not surprised. I was really touched when I saw all of the knitted pink caps of the fall-winter collection. That was quite a statement for you and for the company. What made you decide to make that pledge?
I'm a very, even though I resonate, I know that I think, I'm a thinker, right? And but I also am very instinctive on what I think it's right and I have to do, especially when it comes to human rights. And when it happened on the 21st of January, that you could see the women marches in the States, but also all over the world. And I was so touched, and I was so impressed, and I wanted to be part of it. And I saw so many friends, so many people that I knew, so many people I admired that were in it. And I said, I want to be part of it. What can I do? How can I do it? And then I realized the story of the pink pussycat. And I was so impressed by how, I think it's the strongest symbol that came out in such a short time with the communication of today that became so strong and so powerful. I started inquiring 2 days after. I started, what can I do? What can I do? Maybe I'm gonna give out to all the show. At the show, all those pussycat. And I can tell you that producing 1,500 pink pussycat for weeks from scratch, it's not an obvious thing, even for a knitter, for a factory.
But the reaction was so great. I remember the advertisements afterwards on Instagram. You had so many different people wearing the hats and taking photos of them with the hats. That must have been an amazing feeling for you.
Yeah, because I'm happy that I gave the chance to those people also to be part of it. And I just wanted to be part of it and give the opportunity to other people to be together. And I'm happy that all the models and the girls, but it all came piece by piece. I don't do rehearsals, so it grew day by day. I'm happy that so many designers join us on the
stage. Looking over the 20 years, what has been the biggest change for you? Where have you seen the most shift in what your work in your life?
Of course, in communication. Today, I spend 35% of the time on communication. It is a non-stop job. But those were little things compared to what you can do today. This will change the way you're seeing things, the way we are producing, the way we are presenting men and women. Now I'm putting together men and women because I want to be sure that when women will go on the same path and being on the same wavelength, and I need to be sure what I'm communicating.
Have you ever just wanted to do a minimalist, no pattern, no nothing collection? Has that ever been something, or you just, your life is color and that's how it is?
That's that. My life has always been in color. But when I started my first line as Angela Missoni, my goal was to exploit yarns. So I started for 3 collections. I was exploiting only solids, shapes, and stitches and relief. And little by little, I was adding pattern. At the end of my, I think, 4th show, my mom came to me at that when she asked me if I felt ready to do the main line. And I said, I've never thought about it. And then she said, what you're doing is what I would like Missoni to be today.
Oh, that must have been wonderful to hear. Okay, so now is the time for the 5 generic fashion questions that I ask all of the people I interview for the podcast. So, what is the most treasured piece of clothing that you own?
My children clothes from when they were little.
Oh, me too. What is the one item of clothing that every woman should invest in, spend real good money on?
Oh, something you're sure that you can give to the next generation, right? Okay. Like a Missoni...
Anything.
Anything.
So, who's your favorite designer, living or dead?
I'm an 80s girl, and of course as much, and I was so much an admirer of Jean-Paul Gaultier, and then of course the Japanese, and then the Belgian. I was always very much inspired by the very creative and the craziness, and so John Galliano, it was a hero. And I might forget some, but...
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. What is the one fashion trend that you will never follow?
I'm always been a person looking for something unique to wear, which means that, and this you can see it always in myself in terms of jewel, you will never see me with the jewel that you can recognize. I always invented my jewels, and so it's very hard for me to say because I will invent myself.
So you never follow any trends?
Basically, I'm never follow any trends. Okay, I will never follow shorts trend, yes. But that goes back to the question, to a story like when my daughter Margarita, she might have been 9 years old, and she was looking at me always when I was getting dressed to go out. Mm-hmm. And one day she was there looking at me with super admiration eyes and said, "Mom, you know, everything you wear suits you so well." And I said, "No, darling, only what's in my wardrobe," which is very
Exactly. Smart woman. Yes. Okay, last question. What do you love most about fashion?
I'm a very curious person. And I love to see new things. I love to see new way of thinking, new way of saying things. I love to be surprised.
Me too. Angela, thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you. Very, very honored. Don't want to miss an episode of Fashion Your Seatbelt? No problem. Just go to iTunes or wherever you download your podcasts and click on the subscribe button. Then every new episode will drop into your feed automatically. No fuss, no muss. Fashion Your Seatbelt is made possible thanks to the wonderful people at Launchmetrics, the software company that is powering the fashion industry, and GPS Radar, the members-only website where leading fashion brands and media connect in style. I am a member of GPS Radar, and I can tell you, as a journalist, it has made my work life run much more smoothly. Believe me, I know. I'm Jessica Michaud.